Human man found the alien woman he dreamed about every night making coffee in his kitchen one morning. Alex Cross never expected his morning to begin with a stranger casually using his espresso machine like she was born to operate it. Especially not a stranger with silver eyes, long ears that arched upward like sculpted crescent moons, and the kind of quiet confidence usually reserved for space royalty or baristas who know how to swirl a latte properly. She didn't look up when he entered the kitchen. She just hummed a low tune, strangely familiar, and reached for the sugar like she'd done it 100 times before. Alex, bleary-eyed, sockless, and armed only with a Chewbacca bathrobe and a half-dead yawn, froze in the doorway. "You're out of oat milk," she said. It wasn't the oat milk comment that threw him, or the fact that his cat, Dr. Fluff, was purring at her feet like a traitor. It was her voice, that soft cadence, that exact tone. He'd heard it before, in his dreams. He opened his mouth to speak, but only managed a sound that resembled the wheeze of a punctured balloon. The woman turned, and for a second, the whole kitchen felt distant. The ticking clock, the dusty fridge magnets, the faint smell of burnt toast. Gone. All he could see were those eyes, silver but not metallic, more like starlight caught in a snow globe. And she smiled. "I finally found you," she said. Alex fainted. Dr. Fluff meowed disapprovingly. He came to roughly 5 minutes later on the floor, a dish towel draped over his face. She was sitting cross-legged beside him, sipping coffee from his favorite mug, the one with the pixelated alien that said, "I believe in breakfast." "You hit your head," she said. "Don't worry. I checked your vitals. Brain activity is within acceptable parameters for a male of your species." "Gee," he croaked. "Thanks for the glowing review, Intergalactic WebMD." She smiled again and took another sip. "You're sarcastic. That's good. Means the frontal lobe's intact." Alex sat up slowly, clutching his forehead. "Okay. Either I'm still dreaming, or I've been abducted by the world's most stylish extraterrestrial. Because this is not normal. You're not normal. I mean, look at your ears. They're magnificent, in a terrifying way." "Thank you," she said. "They are a mark of my lineage. You may touch them if it helps with orientation." Alex held up his hands like a man refusing a suspicious plate of sushi. "Hard pass. Okay, let's rewind. You're, what? An alien? You show up in my kitchen, making coffee. Wearing my hoodie, by the way." "It's comfortable," she said, tugging at the oversized sleeves, "and smells like you. I like it." He blinked. "That's either incredibly romantic or deeply concerning." She leaned back against the cabinet. "I am Sorrel. I've been searching for you across 7 folds of dimensional space. You are my anchor. My dreams led me here. Our connection is ancient." Alex rubbed his temples. "Right, of course. Ancient connections. Dimensional folds. Totally standard Tuesday." "Today is Monday," she corrected. Fluff climbed on a lawnmower. Alex glared at the cat. "At 2, Fluffy?" Cyril's gaze softened. "You've seen me in your dreams." He hesitated. "Yeah, every night for 6 months. You always stood in the same place, same voice, same eyes. I figured it was stress. Or cheese. Maybe stress cheese." "It was not dairy," she said. "We are psychically bonded. Our consciousnesses entwined through the resonance stream. I crashed here 5 Earth years ago. Your subconscious absorbed the signal." Alex slowly stood, wobbling only a little. "So what, we're telepathically linked? Like a long-distance phone plan, but with more nightmares?" "Not nightmares," Cyril said. "Echoes of our eventual reunion. Prophetic sequencing." He paced. "This is wild, I mean, even for my standards, and I once dated someone who thought horoscopes were quantum equations." Cyril watched him with mild curiosity. "Do you experience nausea during time dilation?" "What? Never mind." He pointed at her. "Listen, this whole alien girlfriend who invades your REM cycles then shows up in your kitchen thing? It's not exactly page 1 of the Sanity Handbook. You gotta give me more. Proof. A spaceship? A weird gadget? A glowing orb?" Cyril reached into the hoodie pocket and pulled out a smooth humming device the size of a walnut. It glowed with pulsing geometric symbols and hovered 2 inches above her palm. It also made a soft chime that sounded suspiciously like Windows XP booting up. Alex squinted. "Okay, that's pretty cool." "This is a memory core," she said. "Would you like to see?" "Does it explode?" "Only if you provoke it." He nodded. "So, probably yes." Cyril extended the core toward him. The moment his fingers brushed the edge, his mind flooded with images. Burning skies, a crystalline city collapsing inward like a dying star, and himself, standing beside her on a platform overlooking an ocean that defied gravity. He staggered back, breath rasping. "I remember that," he whispered. "But how?" "The link is reactivating," she said. "Soon you will remember everything." Alex sat down at the table, staring at his hands like they weren't entirely his. "Why me?" She joined him. "Because you're the only one who can help me stop what's coming." "Oh, fantastic," he muttered. "I just wanted coffee. Maybe some eggs. Instead, I get prophecy and a psychic apocalypse." Cyril grinned. "And yet, you haven't run screaming. That's a good sign." "I fainted," he reminded her. "You fainted with style." He laughed despite himself. "Okay, so what now?" She reached across the table and took his hand. "Now, we begin." The toaster exploded. Smoke filled the kitchen. "Your technology is emotionally unstable," Cyril observed, waving smoke away. Alex coughed. "You should see the blender." Dr. Fluff yawned, and somewhere, deep beneath the veil of everyday life, the universe shivered. Alex wasn't entirely sure what the protocol was for interdimensional bonding over scrambled eggs, but Cyril seemed to believe breakfast was the key to accelerated psychic stability. That was the term she used, anyway, while pushing a bowl of lukewarm quinoa toward him like it was a sacred artifact. "You expect me to eat this?" he asked, squinting into the bowl. "It looks like what guilt tastes like." "It supports cognitive alignment," Cyril said, already halfway through her own helping. "And the grains hum at a stable vibration." Alex picked up a spoon with all the enthusiasm of a man preparing for medical experimentation. "Great, my breakfast is a tuning fork." Cyril pointed a forkful at him. "You are resisting harmonization. I'm resisting whatever this is." He shoved the bowl aside and reached for a toaster waffle. "Harmonize this, alien health guru." Cyril raised an eyebrow. "That's 37% air and 62% sugar. And 100% delicious," he took a bite. "Also, how do you even know Earth food stats?" "I scanned your pantry last night." She folded her hands. "You have a surprising number of sauces. One entire shelf dedicated to fermented peppers?" "That's hot sauce," Alex said, mouth full. "An ancient Earth tradition. It's how we deal with existential dread." Cyril tilted her head. "Spicy despair?" "Exactly." They ate in silence for a few minutes. Dr. Fluff had claimed the sunny spot near the window, curled up in a judgmental loaf. Every few seconds, Cyril would glance at the cat with a curious twitch in her long ears. Alex noticed. "You okay?" "You're staring at him like he's about to evolve." "I don't understand him," she said softly. "His thoughts are quiet, fuzzy." Alex smiled. "That's just Fluff. He's the silent type, spends most of his brain power knocking things off tables." "I see," Cyril said. "He is refreshingly uncomplicated." "I envy him. You are not uncomplicated." "Wow," Alex said. "Brutal." She shrugged. "It's a compliment. Complicated minds bend space." He raised an eyebrow. "Is that a poetic alien insult or a literal observation?" "Both." Alex leaned back in his chair. "Okay, so let's say I believe all of this. The dreams, the psychic bond, the grains that sing. What exactly are we supposed to do now?" Cyril stood and crossed to the table, placing the memory core between them. It lit up, casting slow spirals of light across the ceiling. "We must stabilize the link," she said, "or you'll start unraveling." Alex pointed at himself. "Me? Unraveling?" "Your mind is human," she said. "It wasn't designed for interdimensional exposure. The more you remember, the more unstable your consciousness becomes unless we reinforce it." He blinked. "I mean, I have been forgetting where I put my phone more often lately." "That's not the problem." "Okay, but that's still alarming." Cyril tapped the core. "The first node is here, on Earth." "In my kitchen?" She smiled. "No. Oregon coast, a place your species calls Lost Cove. There's a temporal fissure beneath it. Weak enough for us to— Wait. Alex held up his hands. "You want me to just up and go to the beach with you to sync my brain like we're psychic Wi-Fi routers? That is not inaccurate." He stared at her. She stared back. Alex sighed. "Fine, but I'm not sharing snacks." The drive to Lost Cove was mostly uneventful, aside from the fact that Cyril insisted on operating the GPS verbally and got very passionate about highway merge etiquette. At one point, she declared roundabouts to be primitive chaos portals. Alex almost rear-ended a Subaru from laughing. When they arrived, the cove looked deceptively normal. Fog rolled in off the water. Driftwood lined the sand. A seagull dive-bombed a toddler with ice cream. "So," Alex said, hopping over a rock, "where's this supposed node? Hidden under a shell? Inside a crab? Do I have to solve riddles from a sentient seaweed?" Sorel held out the memory core. It pulsed. The ground beneath them hummed. "It's below," she said. "We'll need to descend." "To where?" She pointed at the water. "There's a passage under the cliffside." He blinked. "Please tell me I'm not about to get eaten by a dimension shark." "No sharks," she said, then added, "Probably." That's not reassuring. The passage was a narrow crevice, half submerged in seawater. Alex slipped twice and cursed creatively both times. When they finally reached the hollow beneath the cliff, Cyril activated the core, and the chamber lit up with strange patterns, symbols etched into the stone, glowing faintly with blue light. Alex stared. "This is either ancient alien tech or a very aggressive art installation." Cyril approached the center of the chamber. "Place your hands here." "Will I get electrocuted?" "Only if you resist." Alex grumbled, stepped forward, and placed his palms on the indicated markings. His mind split. Not painfully, not loudly. It was like being gently pulled in two directions. One half of him was still in the cave, feeling the cold stone under his hands. The other half soared through stars. He saw fragments of her world, a world built in spirals, cities of floating crystal, creatures that danced through magnetized sky. He saw himself there too, not as he was, but changed, wiser, worn, laughing beside her. And then it stopped. "Okay, that was something. You did well," Sorel said, helping him up. "The link is stronger. I saw a floating jellyfish with a monocle. That's Ambassador Lyrian. Tell him I love his style." Cyril smiled. "I will." As they left the chamber, the sun broke through the fog above the cove. Alex glanced at her. She walked beside him like she belonged on this planet, like she belonged next to him, and for a second it felt terrifyingly natural. "So what's next?" he asked. "2 more nodes," she said. "Then the real danger begins." "Great, can't wait." She looked at him sideways. "You're handling this surprisingly well." "I'm emotionally numb," he replied. "It's a coping mechanism. Very trendy these days." Back in the car, Sorel turned to him with a faint grin. "You should try quinoa again." "Absolutely not." And somewhere across layers of space too thin for human eyes to see, something took notice. Alex had never flown commercial in a spaceship before, but that's exactly what it felt like when Sorel unfolded what she casually called a pocket platform in the middle of his living room. "You kept this in your backpack?" he asked, staring at the floating disc that emitted a faint chime every time it spun half an inch closer to his couch. "It's collapsible," Cyril said. "Like your Earth yoga mats, but for space-time traversal." "Yoga mats don't glow," Alex pointed out, "or vibrate with quantum energy. You've been shopping at the wrong places." Dr. Fluff watched from the armrest with the same skeptical look he used whenever Alex attempted to assemble IKEA furniture. Meanwhile, the platform pulsed expectantly, waiting to be stepped on. "So where are we going this time?" Alex asked, eyeing it like it might bite. "Another beach node? Ancient shrine in the Himalayas? Psychic portal hidden in a Chuck E. Cheese?" "Switzerland," Cyril said, stepping onto the disc. "There's a dormant synchronizer under a retired particle collider. Also, I wanted to try fondue." Alex blinked. "We're going to Europe for cheese?" "Cheese and cosmic stabilization." "Okay, but mostly cheese." The platform surged forward, space bent inward. Alex's stomach tried to remain in Oregon. They emerged in a dimly lit corridor, humming with forgotten electricity and the soft buzz of dormant machines. Concrete walls, flickering lights, signs in French, German, and one inexplicable symbol that looked like a duck juggling molecules. "Welcome to the abandoned CERN sector," Sorel said, stepping off the platform. "You may experience mild dizziness, short-term memory loss, and the sudden urge to solve theoretical equations. It will." Alex wobbled. "Pretty sure I left my kidneys back in Portland. This way." She led him past rusting machinery, her memory core lighting the way with a slow, pulsing rhythm. "The node is in the central collider chamber. We'll have to pass through some old containment fields. Please tell me containment field is just science talk for hallway." "It is not." Along the way, they encountered a security drone shaped like a floating egg with attitude. It scanned Alex, beeped twice, then tried to tase him. Cyril waved her hand and the drone shut down with a disgruntled hum. "Primitive," she muttered. "I almost died from a robot egg. That's how I'm going to go out?" "It wasn't lethal. It only disrupts your nervous system temporarily. I need my nervous system for things, like walking and nervousness." They reached the chamber without further egg-related incidents. The collider room was vast, circular, and weirdly quiet. A massive ring lined with dormant tech arched overhead. In the center stood a pedestal, pulsing faintly with the same glow as Cyril's core. "This is the second node," she said. "You know what to do." "Let me guess," Alex said. "Touch the glowing thing and let the universe scramble my brain like an interdimensional smoothie?" "You exaggerate. Last time, only one of your memory centers activated abnormally." "That explains the random French I spoke to a barista yesterday." Alex stepped forward and placed his hands on the pedestal. The energy surged again, but this time it wasn't just visions. He felt time loop around him like a scarf in a wind tunnel. He saw Sorel, not just her but versions of her. In battle, in exile, alone, reaching for him across shattered stars. In one vision, he stood with her on a fractured moon, laughing as they shared a glowing fruit that looked suspiciously like a pear made of jellyfish. His hands trembled. When he stepped back, Cyril was already stabilizing the energy with the core. "You're adapting faster than expected," she said. "That's good." Alex nodded, heart pounding. "I also remembered how to juggle. Not sure if that's related." "The skill set is transferable," she said. They rested on a platform suspended above the chamber. Cyril handed him a wrapped packet. "Earth snack?" Alex unwrapped it. "This is a grilled cheese sandwich. I made it from your kitchen before we left." He took a bite. "You're officially the best illegal time-space house guest I've ever had." They sat in silence for a moment, overlooking the ancient machinery. "I saw you again," Alex said. "In the visions. You were different." Cyril nodded. "Each version of me is real. In parallel timelines, we made different choices. Some lived, some didn't. And all of them looked for me?" "No," she said quietly. "Only this one did." He didn't know what to say, so he offered her half his sandwich. Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered violently. The core pulsed red. "Something's here," Cyril said, rising to her feet. "It found us." Alex stood too, holding the sandwich like it might help. "Who's it?" "The shroud," she whispered. "It followed the signal. We need to leave, now." A shape rippled at the edge of the room. It wasn't a person, not exactly. It looked like someone Alex knew. An old classmate, then his high school principal, then someone from a commercial for allergy medication. Faces, cycling too fast to be real. "That is not okay," Alex said, backing away. "It's a memory feeder," Cyril said. "It takes shape from your thoughts. Don't give it emotion. Don't give it identity." "I'm a walking nostalgia buffet, Cyril. I can't not think." The figure stepped forward, now resembling Alex himself, only older, worn, and with much better posture. "You'll lose everything," it said in his voice. "This isn't love, it's infection." "Okay," Alex said. "That's rude." Cyril activated the core. The energy warped around them. The chamber cracked with light. The figure hissed, fragments of identity flaking off its form like broken code. "Jump!" Cyril shouted. They leapt onto the platform. It rocketed upward through space, out of the chamber, back through the fold. Alex screamed the entire time, gripping her sleeve. They landed in his living room with a solid thud. Dr. Fluff didn't even flinch. Alex gasped for air. "So, that happened." Sorel crouched beside him. "The shroud is adapting. It's learning your mind." "I don't like that. My mind is private property. There should be signs." "There's one more node," she said. "After that, we can confront it properly." Alex nodded. "Okay, cool. Just another cosmic brain meld and a duel with a shape-shifting psychic parasite. I'll pencil it in after lunch." Cyril smiled. "You're adjusting well. I think I'm having a breakdown, but thanks." And in the shadows of reality, the shroud took a new shape, one it hadn't tried before, Cyril's. Only smiling wrong. Alex had no idea what time it was anymore. The sun was rising or setting. He wasn't sure. And he was halfway through a cold Pop-Tart when Cyril walked into the kitchen carrying a black, egg-shaped object that vibrated ominously every few seconds. "Do I want to know what that is?" he asked, mouth full of strawberry disappointment. "It's a distortion tracer," she said, placing it on the counter. "It detects residual psychic echoes." "So, a haunted mood ring?" "If that helps you understand, yes." Alex watched it shiver like it had caffeine anxiety. "It looks like something I'd get charged extra for at airport security." "It tracked the shroud's last signature," Cyril said. "It's mimicking you now." "That's not fair," Alex muttered. "I'm not even good at being me." Cyril crouched and pulled up a hologram from the base of the device. Layers of earth flickered in translucent rings, each lit with markers. One in red pulsed somewhere in Arizona. That's our last node, she said. In the Cinder Range, it used to be a beacon station. Alex pointed at it. Why are the creepy alien landmarks always in inconvenient tourist traps? It's where energy flows are weakest, she said. Tourists never stay long in temporal fault lines. He took another bite of the Pop-Tart. Do I need to pack? Should I bring snacks? Is there breathable air, or do I need like a sci-fi inhaler? You'll be fine, she said, though I'd avoid trail mix with raisins. They interfere with emotional field readings. Alex stared at her. You're making that up? Am I? She said very seriously. The Cinder Range was less of a range and more of a rocky plateau full of angry lizards and signs that said, "Do not climb," in multiple languages. Naturally, they climbed. Cyril moved like she was already 10 steps ahead, and Alex followed with the grace of a man who never fully recovered from gym class. I think I pulled something, he said. Possibly my dignity. Keep going, Cyril called. We're close. I'm going to sue gravity. At the top, nestled between slabs of scorched basalt, they found a smooth indentation in the stone, etched with ancient alien markings that shifted when stared at too long. The pedestal in the center glowed faintly. The final node. Cyril touched her core to it, and the air vibrated like a plucked violin string. This one's different, she said. It's older, more volatile. Alex looked around. So, more dangerous? Potentially. Awesome, love that. Let me just recalibrate my expectations from mildly terrifying to definitely dying. You'll be fine, she said again. That's what you said before the teleportation incident. I still twitch when I hear dial-up tones. Cyril stepped back and nodded toward the pedestal. Same process. Focus. Let the link open. Alex sighed and put his hands on the stone. This time it wasn't a rush of visions. It was a slow unraveling, like a book being read backward. He saw things that hadn't happened yet. Him and Cyril standing in a city made of light, laughing beside a child with ears like hers. He saw himself holding her hand in the middle of a battlefield. He saw her vanish, return, die, live again and again. And then he saw the shroud. It wasn't a shape anymore. It was a presence, heavy, cold. It leaned in, took form, her form. Alex, it said in Cyril's voice, only wrong. Too sweet, too clean. He jerked away from the node, gasping, It's using you now. Cyril's face went hard. Then it's getting desperate. Yeah, well, it's also creeping me out. There's nothing worse than evil me dressed as you. It's like a fanfic I didn't consent to. The sky darkened. The wind dropped. The pedestal cracked down the center. From the shadows of the rocks, something moved. Slowly, fluidly. It looked like Cyril, but taller, paler. Her features stretched just enough to be unsettling, like an AI-generated dream version of someone you love. Alex took a step back. Okay, that's nightmare fuel. Ignore it, Cyril said. It feeds on your recognition. Do not give it a name. It's got my girlfriend's face. I'm not your. Let me have this. The shroud moved closer. You don't belong to this world, Alex. You never have. You dream because part of you remembers, but it's not her you remember. It's me. Nope, Alex said. Hard pass. That voice is like if Siri got possessed by a ghost who sells essential oils. The thing flickered. For a second, it was Alex again. Then his mother. Then a version of Dr. Fluff with glowing red eyes. Okay, he said. That's enough. Leave the cat out of this. Cyril raised the core. We end it now. The shroud lunged. The core flared. For one frozen moment, Alex saw himself in all timelines. Dead, alive, heroic, terrified. In none of them was he alone. In all of them, Cyril was there. Sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes walking away. The pedestal split open. Energy poured upward in a column of light, tearing the mimic into fragments of static. The shroud screamed, not aloud but inside his skull, and vanished like fog in the sun. Silence. Cyril dropped to her knees, breathing hard. It's wounded, but not gone. Alex sank beside her. I'm wounded, psychologically, forever. I'll never look at fondue the same way again. She reached out and touched his shoulder. You were stronger than I expected. I'm fueled entirely by sarcasm and breakfast pastries. They sat in the fading light of the node, surrounded by the quiet hum of a universe beginning to settle. Alex looked at her. So, what now? We prepare, she said. One final merge, one final battle. Alex nodded. Right after we get tacos. She smiled. You always say that? He blinked. Wait, always? But she didn't answer, because in some corner of time, they'd already said goodbye. Alex stood in his living room holding a bowl of cereal and watching Cyril dismantle his Wi-Fi router. Are you absolutely sure this is necessary? He asked, glancing from the disassembled pile of wires to her focused expression. It's not a router anymore, she said. It's an interface conduit now. Okay, but it was definitely a router this morning. I used it to stream a video of a raccoon stealing a sandwich. She adjusted a glowing panel. It will now stream something else. Our merged consciousness. That feels like a violation of my data plan. Cyril looked up at him. We have to amplify the node's signature. We're almost out of time. The shroud is recovering. If we don't finish the merge before the convergence hits, the psychic tether will collapse. Alex stirred his cereal thoughtfully. Does the tether collapsing mean brain soup? Worse, she said. Multiversal bleed-through, waking nightmares, the possible return of dial-up internet. He gasped, You monster? She smiled faintly. Sit. He sat. The cereal was now soggy and sad, which felt symbolic somehow. Okay, so how exactly do we finish this merge? Is there a spell? A sacred chant? Do we have to hold hands and stare dramatically into a mirror? You focus, she said, placing the core between them. Let go of the versions of yourself that are afraid. Accept what you are. Which is? A bridge, she said. A link between worlds. A singularity wrapped in sarcasm. Flattering. I mean it. He took a breath. Okay, let's do it. The core pulsed. Time didn't stop, but it politely excused itself. Alex felt himself stretch, not physically but inward like memory being unfolded. He saw every version of himself again. The coward, the hero, the wanderer, the one who never met her, the one who died saving her, the one who never let go. And then for the first time, he saw the real Cyril. Not the version she'd shown him, not the confident traveler or the solemn warrior. He saw the pain she carried in silence, the loneliness, the guilt, the hope she never admitted, the way she always watched him just a second longer than necessary, like afraid he'd vanish if she blinked. He reached out, not physically, and touched that truth. Something clicked. The core shattered, the room shook, and then silence. Did we just break the universe? Alex asked, squinting at the glowing fragments now embedded in his carpet. Cyril looked at him. No, we fused the link. You mean I'm now merged? Yes. Do I get powers? You already had them. He blinked. Why didn't anyone tell me? You used one last night to unlock your car remotely from inside the house. That was you, wasn't it? Maybe. A crack of static sliced through the air. The lights flickered. Outside the window, the sky turned a shade of purple that didn't exist in the known spectrum. It's here, Cyril said. Alex stood. Do we fight? Hide? Distract it with interpretive dance? It's coming for your mind, she said. That's the battlefield. Joke's on it, he said. My mind is a confusing place. Half the time I can't even remember why I walked into a room. They braced themselves. The shroud arrived without ceremony. One moment the air was still. The next it was filled with whispers that spoke in voices Alex recognized. His mother, a childhood friend, a YouTuber he watched once at 2 a.m. They all said the same thing. She's lying to you. Cyril stepped forward. Ignore it. Alex gritted his teeth. Trying. The shroud took shape again, his shape, then hers, then both at once, like a glitch in a romance novel. You will forget her, it said, and it will be peace. Alex stepped forward. Yeah, see? Here's the thing. I don't actually want peace. I want meaning, connection, ridiculous, improbable love that started in my dreams and walked into my kitchen wearing my hoodie. The thing hesitated, he pointed. Also, you look like you were rendered in beta, so maybe dial back the creep factor. The shroud struck. Not with a beam or lightning or lasers. It reached for his thoughts and found something waiting. Not fear, not confusion. A barrier of bad jokes and shared memories. 1,000 cups of coffee. A quiet morning. Laughter in the middle of an interdimensional storm. Alex closed his eyes. You're not stronger than what we are. The shroud cracked. Literally. It fractured down the center and split open like glass under heat. From within, a blinding light burst forward. Every version of Alex and Cyril standing together. Not perfect, not invincible, but united. And it was gone, just like that. No explosion, no last words. Just a quiet pop and the sound of Dr. An. Fluff yawning on the counter. Alex opened his eyes. Did we? Cyril nodded. We did. He sat down, boneless. I need a nap. A year-long nap, a hibernation. She sat beside him. You held the connection. You chose the path. I also got called out by an evil shapeshifter impersonating my cat. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Thank you, Alex. He smiled. Anytime, just maybe not in the middle of a psychic apocalypse next time. Days passed, weeks. Cyril stayed for a while. She showed him stars he'd never seen before. He introduced her to nachos. They argued about TV endings. He wrote again. She fixed the microwave with alien tech, and now it plays classical music when it's done. And then, one morning, she stood in the kitchen, making coffee. Same hoodie, same quiet hum. He walked in, already knowing. "You're leaving," he said. "For now," she said. "There are timelines unraveling. I need to stitch them, but the link stays. We're bound." Alex stepped closer. "I'll miss you. You won't have to." She kissed him, soft, brief, real, and was gone. No portal, no flash, just an empty cup and a note. "Keep the hoodie. Back soon." Alex smiled, poured himself some coffee, and sat at the table. He felt whole, connected, and somewhere across time and stars, a silver-eyed woman smiled back. The end.